yesterday. It was probably exactly where that jackal was. So, wonder if the baby got eaten. So the other one will be sleeping around quite close by as well. Just can't spot it yet. They're very difficult to sex when they're sleeping like that. But they are very, very cute. And I'm very happy we've got some who've decided to spend a bit more time on Juma. And then again, hopefully if you're wondering where James and Brian are, there's been some mechanical issues on the vehicle, so we are hoping that they'll be out soon. But as you can hear from the purr of Rusty this afternoon, just delightful. Now firing on all cylinders again. All funny knocks and bumps have been repaired. Just an absolute delight to go out in. So there are lots of different insects out in Africa, and obviously probably the most well-known one is the mosquito. And Kathy in Florida is wondering if we have any problems with them, and more specifically with them and the Zika virus, which apparently is quite a problem in Florida. The buzzing around your head at night, or specifically when you're sitting on the vehicles in a stationary sighting at night, the mosquitoes can get quite bad, but nothing too bad here. And I consider myself an expert on mosquitoes, having lived in places where I've never, like the Gabonese rainforest, where you won't believe how many mosquitoes. There was a group of scientists who came out from the University of Prague, I think it was, and they managed to discover 9 new Anopheles mosquitoes just in our camp. 9 new species of Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles mosquito is the mosquito species that can carry malaria. Interesting thing about Anopheles mosquitoes, they don't buzz. So the buzzing mosquito that keeps you awake all night is not the one that's going to give you malaria. Well, we all have places that we really want to visit one day, and one of mine is Madagascar. And Deborah in Ohio was asking, have I been? I haven't, unfortunately, but it is on my bucket list and something I hope to do in the next little while. And she's also wondering what animals will be there. Well, animals I can answer a little bit better. Lemurs are what most people know, but they've also got some very interesting other little primates, eyes, and then a very interesting sort of a carnivore called a fossa. There's not very big creatures, and the man to ask about Madagascar and our crew is Jean-Andre, who's actually filmed there twice. He knows a bit more about Madagascar than the rest of us, but incredible birding, great fishing offshore, definitely a spot that's high up on my list of places to go. So also you might have noticed that Jean-Andre hasn't been on filming on the back of the vehicles much over the last couple of days, or yesterday and today. Jean-Andre happened to stand on an old rusty nail that went right through his shoe and into his foot. So he is at the moment unable to walk, and he has seen a doctor, so hopefully he will be right as rain shortly. And it's always good in the dry season to come have a look around the water holes. You never know what might be around. Okay. Only a male waterbuck in the distance. It always pays to just have a quick look. Often you can find elephants, big herds of buffalo, and all sorts around water holes at this time of the year. And there's some hippo in the background. You can just see their backs. Okay, so we're going to head east from here, and while we do that, chatting about biting insects or insects that harass animals, Kathy's ever wondering if any of the animals here ever get harassed by botflies. And the answer to that is yes, Kathy. We get some massive botfly species here. They go into the nostrils and into the lower part of the small intestine, and they've got these incredible sort of hooks on the larvae. So it's basically a big maggot about that size sometimes. These little hooks, and they hook onto the inside of the intestine or the nostril. So I really recommend once you Google botfly larvae and have a look. Incredible evolutionary adaptation that the botfly larvae have to be able to actually live inside a host, and they can get very irritating, and there's even botfly that sometimes get inside the ear of certain animals. I've seen it in Impala, but it affects their balance and they just walk around in circles constantly. It's a very strange thing to see. I actually saw recently when I was at home. Hi Jesse, Jesse's in Colorado, and Jesse would like to know, why don't the predators tolerate oxpeckers to help with the parasites? Well, they instinctively have to catch things that move, so it would be a very short life for an oxpecker if we decided to start cleaning a lion or a leopard. Ooh, it's getting cold quickly tonight. Christine is noticing the clouds. Yeah, it looks like there's a cold front coming from the Mozambican coast, so from the Indian Ocean. It's making life a little bit unpleasant for us people who don't like the cold. Well, myself and I think Brian Joubert in particular, we seem to be the weakest of the team when it comes to cold. Hi Dee. Dee's wondering if I've ever done the whole safari alone. Well, Dee, I have. Oh, now I'm losing earpieces and things. We have. So, Dee, to give you a little idea, when I started in February last year, we used to do most of the safaris alone. So, what we used to do was, I think we only used to put out 2 vehicles on the weekends. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We used to have 2 vehicles, and for the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was 1 vehicle out at a time. But also you got to remember how VM's also been around a while here. So I think when I started, there were 4 of us in camp. That was it. And there could even when I actually started, there were 3 of us in camp. It was Brian, Andrew, Mark and myself, and well, rotating. So often we used to do 3-hour safaris by ourselves. But I mean, if we look how the team has grown and the amazing stuff we're doing and trying at the moment, it probably wouldn't be possible. And I mean, now we've got 3 presenters on the ground. We are hopefully going to have a few more. We've got 4 cameramen, hopefully also looking for some more cameramen. And how many in FC now? 4, 5. In final control, 3 tech team. So yeah, it's changed a little bit, but really exciting. And of course, the reason we don't normally do these 3 hours by yourself is to try and create as much content for you guys. So when we've got 2 vehicles out, we got twice the chance of finding stuff. And hopefully Commander Bond will be out shortly. Oh dear. Do you still have comms, Vam? They just suddenly, in the middle of that sentence, stopped. Just hang on a second, sorry guys. I think this earpiece decided to die. No. Ah. This is fun. Right, let's just make sure it's the earpiece and not something else. Sorry about this. Okay. Right, fortunately, I do have a backup plan. So give me 1 second. See, out in the bush and live, you can't plan for these sorts of things. They just happen. So normally we do have backup plans. Oh, that's not a very good backup there. That seems to be missing pieces. But I do have more. Okay, let's have a look which one that is.
Just grab that piece next to the monitor, behind the monitor.
Is there an earpiece? Is it oh, there we go. Oh, how's that? There's an earpiece there. Well, now we'll find out whether it is the earpiece or the cable. So we are live in the African bush. This is not a show. I mean, it is a show, but this is not us having you on, so to speak. And I don't think it's the earpiece. I think it's the cable. There we go. Hang on. Do you want to just pop that in, see if into your earpiece, see if that makes the difference? Sorry about this, but while we do that, I'm going to try and fix our backup plan here. Nope, not that one. Earpiece working.
Negative.
So that earpiece not working. Try that one. Okay. So 1 second, I should have communications again. That one's working. So then it's not my earpiece. So of course, being able to get your questions is quite important. Let's just... Yeah. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. It is not the earpiece. It is the cable that the earpiece was connected to. So now we need that piece of that one. We need that piece of that one, I think. So this is how we, oh no, that's stuck together. Let's try that piece. So we're going to make a plan now. Ken's going to show you the pretty light on the combretum tree.
The wind.
And the wind, yes. Well, I try sort out a handheld radio. Oh no. Different sizes. That is not going to work. Okay, so bear with me for a little bit longer, please. I'll try to find another plan. So I need to find a piece that goes into that. Let's just see if it works first. Otherwise, we're going to have to shoot back towards camp and just get an earpiece from there. Well, that works. So we just need to find a piece that goes in there. Very complicated, this. Oh, do we have another solution? I think we may. I think we're back in business. What do you think, Vam? Do you think it's going to work? Hope so. Yes, because this is not quite... Well, I suppose this is a very real safari experience. So things like this will happen when you come on an African safari, even when you're at the lodges. Flat tires and radio comms issues. And so a very, very real safari experience.
Are you getting them? Not yet.
And we all should be on channel 2. Okay, let's have a look. Hello, Final Control, can you? Here we go, we have them. No, there we go. So, that's what happens sometimes. You got to just fix through it. So Andreen says Jamie would have fixed that much faster. Well, I think you're probably right. Okay, let's look. I thought I heard something there. And I was hoping, was it an Impala alarm call? Difficult to hear in this wind, but the predators do like to utilize this windy, cool weather for hunting. So we're going to head east towards the Buffels Hook waterhole. So, as we've been talking about, we hear lots of different sounds at night, and Aaron in New Zealand is wondering what animal has the most eerie or haunting call at night. I'd say in Africa, probably the tree hyrax. It sounds like someone screaming while being murdered. And the tree hyrax, I'd say, is probably the most haunting call to hear at night. So I haven't heard an ETA for James yet, but as soon as I know a little bit more, I'll let you know. So good news, it sounds like James is nearly out and about to come join us. And that's great because that gives us twice the chance to find animals for you guys. So I'm going to keep meandering down our northern boundary, and I'm going to go see what's happening around the Buffalo's Hook waterhole. I'm hoping that that lioness who's got the cubs is going to be in that area. She has been utilizing it. It is the closest water for her, and also a really good hunting area for her. So she has been moving into that area to hunt quite regularly, and we missed her by a few minutes last night. There's that strange weather, and I'm hoping that it stays away, but there's some clouds up ahead there on the horizon, look a little heavy. There we go, it's quite dark and ominous. And hopefully it will stay away for a fireside chat this evening. And we will be doing it again on Facebook Live. And I know some of you experienced some difficulties with it last weekend. But hopefully we've managed to fix the glitches during the week. And so at 5:45 this evening, we will be doing a fireside chat, and it'll be with Jamie, James, and myself. Weather depending, of course, as long as the rain stays away. But don't fear, if it does rain, we'll just do it tomorrow. The other reason I want to head all the way down to the east, so once I've checked around Buffalo's Hook, I always like to sort of meander down the southern boundary, just in case Queen Karula has decided to make an appearance. For those of you who are not sure who Queen Karula is, you must be new to Safari Live, but that's not a problem. She's the dominant female leopard that we get in our area. She's also got two gorgeous little cubs at the moment. So Jesse's wondering which of the pans on Djuma has the most water now. Jesse, it's Buffalo's Hook waterhole where we're on our way to now, and I don't even think that might last the year. So I think after that it's going to be obviously the Gallagher and Djuma pans, and those are pumped, but those will hold water throughout the year. But at the moment, I think apart from the little natural seeps at Treehouse Dam, the only dam or pan holding water is Buffalo's Hook. Hello, hello. Oh no, don't run away, Fatty Boom Boom. There's a very fat warthog who is sleeping on the ground there, but unfortunately he's done a disappearing act. Big male warthog. Okay, so we're quite close to the Buffalo's Hook waterhole now. Just over the next ridge or two. So Kathy's wondering, has anyone caught a glimpse of Sindile yet? Unfortunately not, Kathy. You can see from the map that was shared about his current movement not so long ago. He's quite far away from us. He's in a property called Ottawa, which is to the southwest of us and very far from any of our traverse areas. So no one has caught a glimpse of him yet. So we're about to arrive at the waterhole. What do you think is going to be here, Vim? So Vim always thinks there's a leopard everywhere, but I'm not sure it's going to be there. Okay, I think there's not even a hippocrocodile here today. Let's check around the corner. What do we got? Let's double check, always make sure, but I unfortunately think there's nothing at the Buffalo's Hook waterhole on this cool, windy sunset safari. Vim's having a look at the big torchwood or Balanites tree on the edge of the Buffalo's Hook waterhole and the red-billed buffalo weaver's nests that aren't in occupation at the moment. So we're going to move along. So Michelle is wondering, is there a pumped pan possibly in Little Gowrie that Queen Karula is using? I would guess so, Michelle. I've never actually been onto Little Gowrie, so I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to head now up towards our eastern edge of the traverse area and have a quick look along our boundary with Torchwood. Quite a lot of animal movement around there normally, so always worth having a squiz. Now this is also the area we see one of my favorite leopards, Gajima, very skittish and relaxed male leopard, and he holds territory in this area. So I always like to have a little look around here. And Viam was with me when we managed to get those incredible visuals of him up in a tree at night, but it took some really hard habituation work to get him nice and relaxed. So, Aaron is wondering, who is Viam's favorite leopard? Viam?
I think at this point I have to go Tingana.
Yeah, Tingana at this point is his favorite leopard, but I think that's just till he sets his eyes on Anderson. You've seen Anderson, so you still prefer Tingana.
Anderson doesn't come to visit.
Anderson doesn't come to visit. So there we go, Tingana. And your favorite female? Okay, so Vem can't decide, but he says maybe in Kanyeni. Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely in Kanyeni or it's so difficult. Tsakani, maybe Tsakani might be my favorite female, but we haven't seen her again for a while. But I think my favorite male is Gajima. But I haven't seen Shivambalan yet. And of course, my old favorite is, unfortunately, he doesn't live around here anymore, is Kunyuma. Oh, now we've lost an aerial. Hang on a sec. Well, Laura's wondering, have Shadow and her cub been seen? I've had tracks of them, but they haven't been seen in quite a while, Laura. But I did have tracks of both Shadow and her cub not too long ago. So she's around, but being very scarce, behaving like a shadow. So, and it looks like they've got Wendy up and running, so that's great news. So let's go see what James has been up to for the last, well, actually we know what he's been up to. He's been playing with cars and mechanics, so let him tell you about that.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Just having an afternoon Sunday zizz, you know how it goes. I mercifully have not been playing with the car. Mercifully, I say, because of course my knowledge of vehicles is about as good as my knowledge of the psyche of the female. In other words, negligible in the extreme. I wouldn't go anywhere near the engine of this car, but two very clever Zimbabwean fellows have fixed the thing up, and everything is now fine. Now, our plan for the afternoon, I must just apologise for our lateness, but Wendy now is purring like a very satisfied cheetah after a, well, maybe a three-legged cheetah after a very good meal. Our plan today is to go round. There were some lions calling from around this area this morning. No one checked around here. This is the Gallagher Pan just down here. So we're going to just head down here and have a look. Then I'm going to go towards the north, towards Sydney's Dam, towards the old hyena dens. I'm going to check all of the ones that we know of, see if there isn't any activity at them. If there isn't, I think what we're going to do is probably set Herbert to the task of finding the new den. He'll go off on foot, and Steph will be back, of course, tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Tuesday. It's his son's birthday tomorrow, so he's not coming back. And he will then, I mean, with Herbert, go and walk in that area and see if they can't identify a new den site, because it's now been way too long since I've seen my friends the hyenas. What's the matter, Brian? Is it? It's scratchy. Sorry, everybody. Oh, there's a wire attached to it. Oh, how deeply irksome. And this little spongy is coming off. We'll fix the spongy shortly. Is that better, Brian? There we go. You may hear the ruffling of my wire-like chest hairs upon the microphone. I hope not. So that's the plan for the afternoon. What little there is left of it. Please don't forget, we have a fireside chat, truncated version this time, 15 minutes. We'll be focusing on leopards. And the reason it is truncated, watch out there, Brian, is that we are practicing for our TV things that we're doing come the middle of June. Kirsten, what are the dates of those again? And that's only going to be a 15-minute fireside chat, so we need to get ready for that. That's on the 18th and 19th of this month, June. Times to be confirmed. We can probably tell you what times they are going to be this side of the world, but what they will be your side of the world, of course, very difficult to know, because, of course, you are all in different parts of the world. As with Brent, we are just about as alive, so you may send us questions. You're encouraged to do so. Comments, hashtag Safari Live. If you're tweeting, like well, there are no birds tweeting today. It's a blustery afternoon, so they're all kind of hiding in the thick bush. Otherwise, questions at wildearth.tv. Now, when you find 4 very relaxed-looking beefalo bulls, you can be almost certain that there are no lions around here. Hello, fellows. 5 beefalo bulls. And you did, I know, have a male lion on Impala Plains. That was the same one we found this morning. And we heard another lion calling around here sometime. So we'll just do a little drive around here onto Mvubu Road and check the Mvubu Road hyena den once we've observed these buffalo for a sufficient time. You know, you don't want to go past buffalo, just drive off, you know, like VM might suggest that you do, because, of course, they feel hurt if you just drive past them. They think that they are part of the Big Five, which, of course, they are. They think that they are very magnificent, which in some eyes they certainly are. Brian, to you, magnificent?
Not too bad.
No, not too bad. No. I don't think so. Brian, there's a beautiful fly. Oh, no, hang on, that's on my screen. It's not, you know, you didn't forget if I said that, everyone. I found a very golden, green and yellow fly on my presenter monitor that I thought was on the lens, but it wasn't. There we go. I think that's sufficient time with the buffalo, don't you, Brian? They look very pleased that we stopped and took cognizance of them. Right, thank you, fellows. We're going to press on. It is a blustery day. Oh, that sounds, yes, like the 3-legged cheetah Wendy is. Quite a windy day. Clouds have come over, a bit of a front rolling through. So it's always kind of, one doesn't like to say oppressive, but when you're so used to the bright, big blue sky filled with sun, it's always slightly unnerving almost to have this sort of a grey cloud scudding overhead. In this bush here, you see the bush in front of us that I'm not going closer to purposely. There are a whole lot of finch-like birds. Oh, there is a very nice sighting, thank you, Brian, of a fork-tailed drongo. And just to the right of that, there are a whole lot of little finch-like birds. And I just want to wait here and see if they come out. And while we do that, because I think there might be what we call a green-winged pytilia there. And a green-winged pytilia, of course, is a very special greenish reddish bird. So let me answer our Beard's question. Have we ever compared what we do to a military reconnaissance operation? Our Beard, I haven't personally. I guess there are some parallels. The parallels would be in tracking, I suppose. So you've got trackers in an army that go ahead and would possibly try and find out, you know, special forces where they'd find out where the enemy was lying, so that you could bring in the infantry. I suppose there'd be something of that nature. But otherwise, I have met many guides, of course, who think that they are military men because they've done a 1-week course in shooting a high-caliber hunting rifle, and so they think of themselves as sort of expert snipers. And then they carry enormous knives, as I've mentioned before, and their belts are full of all kinds of different weaponry. But no, I'm afraid we're not soldiers at all. And any guide who thinks he is a soldier and was to go into battle would probably find himself quivering under a bush very soon. Brian, would you be quivering under a bush? I think I'd be quivering under a bush with bullets flying over the top of my head. Yes. Brent, do you want to know why Brent calls me Commander Bond? Because he's very kindly taken up my fantasy, of course, of being James Bond, which unfortunately I'm not. but he's very kindly kind of feeds that. And, you know, he's my friend, so he's prepared to let me go along with the thought that I am indeed 007. I don't see any lions or lion tracks through here. I'm afraid the green-winged Pytilia failed to make any kind of emergence. I will show you a picture of him shortly, though. He's very pretty. He used to be known as a Melba finch, which, like most of the old names, is infinitely better than the new one. I mean, what on earth is a Pytilia, I ask you, with tears in me eyes? There, Brian, are those lion tracks? Can you see? Possibly, maybe. Potentially, maybe. They don't look fresh, whatever they are. So let's just continue along here. Now the Mvubu Road hyena den is not too far from here, so I think we'll go and check that one first, see if there's any activity there. No. And then I will show you a Pytilia as we drive. Such is my skill, Brian. I may well drive you through a Ziziphus bush by mistake.
I won't be happy to.
No, you won't. And given that you're much larger than I should be very careful of that. Here is the green-winged Pytilia, everybody. That's him. And I'm pretty sure I saw one of them flying into that bush. Green-winged Pytilia, a.k.a. Melba finch. Small conical-billed ground or grass-feeding sea-eaters. It doesn't tell us why they should be called Pytilia. Oh, Pytilia is actually the generic name. Yeah, very nice. Let me put it back in my little boxy. Very ergonomic is my new box, isn't it, Brian?
It is. So compact.
So compact, just like me.
Yes.
I get a feeling that this is going to be a quiet drive on account of the fact that the weather is not very good. But sometimes we are surprised. Hello, Becky. You want to know what the most exciting animal encounter I've ever experienced is? Well, it depends what you mean by exciting. Of course, exciting can mean terrifying, and exciting can mean awe-inspiring. I guess the most terrifying sighting I've ever had was of an angry girlfriend once. She had the character of a honey badger, and she used to terrify the wits out of me on many occasions. In terms of awe-inspiring, certainly while I've been at Safari Live, my most awe-inspiring and savage experience was with a hyena that was set upon by the wild dogs. An unbelievable sighting where this hyena and her clan had stolen a baby kudu from the wild dogs that had just killed it, and one of them got isolated, the hyenas I mean, and the wild dogs, of course, which are much smaller than the hyenas, managed to isolate this female, and they attacked her, and they bit at her bottom, and she of course, when a hyena is attacked, or any predator, they'll put their backside on the ground, and they'll swing around, they'll swivel very quickly in order to get their snapping, vicious jaws at the potential threat. And so as one dog would nip in at the backside, she'd flick around and snap, and then another dog would come in and grab her on the backside, and I thought the hyena was going to die. And then she eventually, very cleverly, backed herself into a bush, a bit like this one, on our right-hand side. So she stuck her backside into a bush like that, so that the dogs couldn't get at her backside, and then they didn't really want a great deal to do with her business end, and eventually she got away, limping very badly, but that was an awe-inspiring and savage attack that left me most impressed. Now, there is a Safari Live story on Facebook which you can go and look at, and you can see the highlights of that sighting. But you know, Becky, it's very difficult to pick because, of course, you have something like that, and then you watch the tender moment of a zebra giving birth. I'd never seen a birth before this year, and that was just an astonishing sighting that I shared with David, and we watched again, awe-inspired, as the zebra mother gave birth at a particularly silly time of the day, but that's what she did. Right, here we are at the Mavubu Road Den. So we'll just gently ease our way in here and see what we can find. We also had a wonderful sighting, talking of the wonderful sightings, on that termite mound there. You can still see fresh activity there, and we know that there's a little sounder of warthogs that lives there. And the warthogs skedaddled one night on hearing 3 lionesses of the Nkuhuma Pride coming wandering straight over this den site after they had visited the hyenas. And we think that it was repeated visits by the lions to that den, because this is kind of on a major game path here. All that comes from the Gallagher waterhole. We think it was that activity of the lions that eventually made the hyenas move all the way to Aubrey's Road, where they've basically parked on a game path that leads to Sydney's Dam. I think that Aubrey's Road den is a particularly stupid place to have a den, because it really is on a major thoroughfare for animals moving to and from the waterhole. And as many of you will know, the predators here like to use game paths because they don't like to scratch themselves. The one exception, the one notable exception being cheetah, which tend to walk vertically next to roads. They don't walk on roads in the same way that the other cats do. And I'm just going to watch the ground to see if there are any obvious hyena tracks. I don't see any here. But we had some wonderful, wonderful sightings, especially just before or around Christmas time, of hyenas in this particular den. This, I think, is their second best area. I mean, looks-wise. Not very clever, though, because it is on a major thoroughfare, like I say. Well, it doesn't look very overgrown, I must say. Right, so this is the den site. But look, it's difficult to tell, but I don't think that there's a lot of fresh activity here. I'm just looking at the ground around us. I can see elephant tracks, I can see a couple of mongoose tracks, a few kudu tracks, but I don't see anything in the way of hyena tracks. There are even warthog dung balls here, so I really don't think that the hyenas are here. But you can see very salubrious accommodations, these, set in a grove of tambuti trees, which are going to turn red fairly soon. It will be a very beautiful place. And there we are. All right, let's carry on. We're going to go round to the north and down Aubrey's Road, at least down Gallagher shortcut, and we'll check that one. That's a really good den. Hello, Kathy. What a very good question you ask. You want to know about the skills of the cameraman. You say they seem very adept at identifying tracks and things, and do they receive special training, or do they do it on the job? It's largely on the job, isn't it, Brian?
Yep. Everything that I've learned on the back of this vehicle.
Yeah. So it's always on the back of the vehicle. Nobody receives any special training. You kind of get thrown in off the deep end. I remember David's first drive. Got on the car with him. I said, Dave, what's that track over the side there? He didn't know what on earth I was talking about. He'd never seen a track of anything in his life before. But already, I mean, Brian and VM specifically are pretty good with their tracks. But Dave's learning. Jandre is not too bad, but we'd never tell him that, of course. Poor Jandre's foot is about the size of his calves, really, at the moment. The rusty nail he stood on has rendered him fairly hoppy. So we'll ease our way out of here and then head for the north. And just one thing I want to show you quickly, if you don't mind, Brian. Well, not that you have a choice, of course, because I'm driving. Ha ha ha. just look over here. Just trying to see if that grey go-away bird is actually shouting at anything. These are the leaves, and this is the tree called the round-leaf teak. And you can see that they occur in quite large numbers here, and so elephants will come around here quite a lot. And they break them down. You can see they do form actual trees at some stage, but they don't form, in some areas where there are no elephants, they will have, and I've told you this before, they will make enormous trees. I suspect that this area that I'm walking around now, just watch this carefully. You see how far I've walked? I think that's one plant. I think this entire rootstock has been eaten again and again and again by elephants, to the extent that it's probably more than a ton of wood, thick, dense wood under the ground that's pushing up these stalks. And I think that is one plant. It could be, probably not 1,000, but it could be hundreds of years old, even though it looks like a scraggly little bush. Because it's been repeatedly broken and broken and broken, I think you'll find that this is one giant plant, over a ton of dense wood lying under the ground there. And here are the leaves. Very few animals eat them normally, because they've got a very sort of waxy cuticle on the top. But they are apparently good for eye drops. If you have an eye problem, you can soak them in water and then pour them in your eye, obviously once the concoction has cooled down, and apparently it will soothe your eye. Brian, are your eyes all right?
My eyes are fine.
Oh, good. All right. We won't take any home then.
No.
No. Okay. Right. Let me plug myself in.
Quick snack for the mood.
Yes, just a quick snack. I wanted to taste it because I know very few things eat them. It's not delicious, Brian, I won't lie to you. But I've tasted worse. What do you think?
Not too bad.
Not too bad, hey? It's probably just very toxic, and we'll drop dead in the next few minutes. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get out of the car again. There's a bone on the floor there, because there was a hyena den here. And bones I'm going to need for the TV show that we're doing. So I'm going to collect some. That's a nice one, see? And it's nice because you can see inside it there. And that, of course, is where the marrow is. Extremely rich food that only hyenas in this area are able to get at. I think that's a buffalo leg bone. We'll keep that there. Some lovely noises coming out of the camp there. Some running repairs going on at Vuyatela while the guests are out on drive. And in winter, of course, the sound travels so very far. Come on, Wendy. Here we go. So, James Dungan, I don't know how to answer your question, but it's so fascinating that I'd like you to send through another tweet if you don't mind. You say, are any of the trees here connected underground like the aspen trees are? I don't know. I don't know anything about aspen trees other than I've seen them in Colorado. But please will you send through another tweet and just a basic idea of how they're connected, and I might be able to give you an idea. It's probably something similar to that I just showed you. It would be lovely to know, so thank you very much for that. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of an indication further as to what you mean. Aspen trees. Very beautiful they are. I saw a pile of dirt there on the termite mound that looked like a leopard's head. It wasn't, obviously. Brent Leo Smith, just to keep you updated, is standing by on Cheetah Cut Line, which is the far eastern area, and the lions seem to be heading that way. Terry, sorry, there was another radio going in my ear. I think your question's about elephants and whether the weather would have affected them? Would the effect of windy weather have changed the elephant's behavior? Terry, yes, absolutely. Windy behavior will affect the elephant's weather deeply. Windy weather will absolutely affect elephants' behavior because they can't hear as well and they can't smell as well, and so they become more afraid. Now, we were having a discussion the other day, Gendry and I, and maybe Brian can weigh in here with some thoughts, and maybe you can too. Why is it that elephants, despite their vast size, are so nervous? What do they have to be nervous of? Why do they chase wild dogs, for example? Why do they chase lions? Yes, a lion can take a small one, but in this area, I mean, the last lion killed, at least elephant killed by lions, I mean, who knows when that was? I think it was a very long time ago. So why they should remain so nervous of predators? Elephants will chase leopards. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. So what we thought was perhaps that it's a throwback to their evolutionary past. We know that they are very ancient animals and that they probably, during their evolutionary history, have experienced the big saber-toothed cats, the big mega predators that used to hunt mammoths as well. And because of that, they are very protective, and they remain protective of their little ones and of the whole herd. I mean, even a bull elephant will chase lions, and I mean, a big bull elephant stands almost, I mean, he's almost completely without a predator out here. Anyway, I think that's quite interesting. And certainly windy weather will make them even more nervous and looking around and careful and smelling. Right, while we continue to look for the hyena den, let's head across to the far east of Djuma and find out what Brent Leo Smith is doing.
So at the moment we are watching some impala that are showing some of the rut signs, snorting, chasing each other around, but that's not the reason why we're sitting on the corner of our south and eastern boundary. I got a report that there's a female leopard. I'm not sure which one. It could possibly be two different leopards in this area. It could be the queen, our dominant female over Djuma, or it could be her daughter, Tandi. And she's about 100 meters due south of us, moving parallel to that road. So what we're doing now is we're playing the patience game. So if we move too far from here, there's a good chance she might cross where we don't see her. So we're just going to sit here. I have been listening to the Eastern Game Drive as well. And unfortunately, since I'm on handheld now, it is open comm, so it is quite noisy. But we are hoping that she's going to cross over quite soon. She's 150 meters. If she is stalking these impala, which she might very well be, it could take her as long as 10 or 15 minutes to get here, but it's definitely worth the wait. Oh, them spotted some other animals. Let me just move the car. Here we go. Oh, let's turn a bit more. And I'm trying to get it. There we go. It's a little fluffy baby waterbuck. Disappearing. I mean, let's just go a little bit further down Cheetah Cut Line. And you can see a few more animals. They all sound like there's an elephant to the south, but they are not inside our traverse zone yet. So definitely worth our while to hang about here for the next 15 or 20 minutes and enjoy some impala, waterbuck, and there's even some kudu. Browsing off an acacia thorn. It's been pushed over by elephants. And we've got a female waterbuck and her baby about to appear there, and the impala scurrying about in this lovely golden light. Oh, some little bit of jousting. And there's that little fluffy baby. Just too cute for words. A little mini circle on the bottom. Now following Mom's big circle, making sure it doesn't get lost. And the female kudu is about to almost walk into frame with them. And she stopped for a snack though. So lots of potential prey species around for whichever leopard is heading up from the south. Very serene setting that might be rocked shortly. So Gray in Idaho is saying he always carries bear spray in case of a bear charge. Is there anything that we carry? Oh, we've got an itchy chin, that impala. Sorry guys, just listening to the radio there. We don't carry any sort of thing like that. We rely on our wits out here. So bears are a slightly different prospect, of course. Most animals out here we can stop with a well-placed clap or shout, and I don't think that's going to work with a bear. And see he's actually standing atop an impala midden. You can see all the dung there. Oh, he's going to add to the midden. So for a female leopard, those young males are definitely within her grasp. Also, that baby waterbuck, and as well as there is a young kudu. I can't see it just now, but floating about. Oh, look at the little boys jousting. They're too young to really be fighting seriously for mating rights, so it'll be practice for next year when they should be big enough to. And see, it's quite half-hearted, that jousting. And there's another waterbuck. Another big female. Oh, quite a few waterbuck going to be moving through from the right. Oh, the jousting's still going on there. Another waterbuck coming through. Lovely soft light. Well, Curious One says it's so great to see all these antelope together. It helps to gauge size. Oh, there's a big boy. Now, he's going to chase the little boys. So even though he's exerting dominance over the little boys in the bachelor group, he doesn't have any girlfriends, so he's just being a bully. There you go. You notice a lot of antelope species will do that. Very waxy substance that they leave that the other species or the other animals of the same species are able to pick up on. There's another slightly older ram. There you go. See, they're all moving off into the bush there. Now, here's something quite interesting. So, waterbuck. There we go. Having a nibble on what looks to be, from this distance, a sickle bush. There's that. Oh, there's three little boys having a joust. Okay, so we're going to keep waiting out. I need to keep listening to the radio. So she is still moving north, but very slowly, like she's stalking. So as soon as we can get a visual of that leopard, we will bring it back to you. But James has returned to the site of a massacre. So let's go have a look.
Hello everybody, my name's Nigel the Nyala. Unfortunately, I had a very bad time the other day. I was set upon by Tingana the male leopard, and he killed me. He bit me there. And then I was stolen from Tingana by two male lions and a female lion as well. Lioness, I think you call them in English. And I'm sorry, I can't keep it going anymore. Anyway, this is the Nyala that was eaten. It was killed by Tingana, and then it was eaten by the two male lions that came on the Birminghams, and there was a female with them, and she got almost nothing of it at all. So I think Tingana probably had a fairly decent meal, although he did kill a warthog the next day. And, well, this is all that's left, and we're going to try and take this thing with us and put it on the back of the car so that we can use it in the tent. This is going to be fairly disgusting. Good luck, Brian, with the smell. I don't really want to touch it other than for the horns. I'm going to drape it over the top here. If somebody else drives past us today, they are going to be so amazed.
The tide has come in.
Right, there we go. I wish you could see this, everyone. And the smell, I'm going to have to be driving quite quickly now. Thankfully, we have fireside chat fairly soon. Okay. All right. Oh, God, that's really horrid. If we do actually get to the hyena den, if we find the actual hyena den, we're on our way to the Gallagher shortcut one. If we do actually get there, they're going to be attached to the back of the car very, very quickly. Maybe we shouldn't have put it on the front, because we are going to be able to, we'll be able to drive fast enough to get away from the smell. Brian is now covering himself in a very substantial headdress in order to cover his nose. Marvellous. Thank you, Whitney. You say, who needs the Walking Dead when you have me? Well, yes, quite. And that Nyala. I must confess to you that I was messing around with it, saying, you know, should we do a segment here? And Brian said, that looks amazing. It looks like it's talking. So it was actually his idea. It was also his idea to put it on the car, which I think is very good. Now I've got to pick it clean. So it has been picked clean by the vultures. very little meat left on it. There's enough to make it smell like the bowels of Satan himself. But what we will do is try and boil it. Brian reckons we have a pot large enough for that thing. He's wrong. But we will definitely put it in some kind of either water. We'll probably bury it, actually. We'll probably bury it and let the ants have a go at it. And I think the landowner actually has a special thing that he uses to clean off bones. And then we'll use it later on in our little tent for the TV specials. What's really nice about it, and you don't find this often, is that the spinal column is fully intact, which is interesting. And it also indicates to me that the hyenas are not around here, because I think they would have come and taken it to pieces. Anyway, this is the old Gallagher shortcut den. We'll drive in here and have a quick look. The sun has come out. The light is wonderful. Naturally, the elephants have been in here and have, well, they've made a bit of a mess, haven't they, Brian? This is quite a nasty piece of bush. Yes, you don't want that in your eye. You'll leave your eye behind on it. All right, Brian? Is our friend still with us? It smells like really bad dog's breath. That's a really good way of putting it. Yes, if there are hyenas here, they're going to perk up immediately. No, I don't think they're here either. Not much activity on the mound, plenty of elephant dung, and the elephants normally will stay clear of hyena dens. Again, I can't really explain why they would, but I don't think they've come in here. No, I don't think there's anything fish here. So what we'll do is go and do one more check at the Aubrey's Road den, and then after today, I think we'll have to hand over to Herbert and see if he can't find them. Oh, this is not. Oh, there's. Look. Isn't that cool? Just popped its head over the top to come and say hi. Oh, that's too sweet. Obviously, a bit like a human being feels safe climbing onto a termite mound. This is a very young elephant, everyone. He's probably about 2.5, 3 years old. I can hear the rest of the herd behind him, but he's popped up using the height as a vantage point, and he obviously feels safe up at that height. In the same way we feel quite safe when we climb up onto a termite mound. And in the case of elephants, it's a completely false sense of security because they climb, as you can see, rather well. That's brilliant. So while we watch that, let's just wait here for a while. You can see the other one just behind there now. Debbie, I think it was, you want to know what are the attributes of a good den? Well, for me, this is the ideal den, Debbie. It's a big termite mound, so there's lots of space for different generations of hyenas, little hyenas to go into. It's got lots of holes excavated by aardvark, and so there are lots of potential den sites. And in this particular one, there are 2 or 3. There's a much bigger elephant going past. And also, it's got shade, so there's lots of shade here. And the real clincher for me on this one is that it's not on a path, it's not on a game path. And so lions and other predators that might disturb the den site are not going to disturb it here. Here comes the mother. We're just going to sit here quietly, watch her climb. Look at this, it's brilliant. I'm not going to start the engine just simply because she looked at us and opened her ears, which just indicated she was saying, I'll tolerate you, but just, you know, you keep the distance. She's got beauty. I'm not sure I know her. I mean, elephants are not good with faces at the best of times, but I thought initially that she might be the young mother with the third of her trunk missing, but it's definitely not her. She's got a complete trunk. Brian, do you think it's just the 2 of them?
No, there's 3.
Oh, there are 3. Ah, yes. Yes, there we are. Put the little one there. Oh, this is brilliant. See, right onto the top of the mound. They're very good climbers. Well, I mean, not very good, but they're pretty good for their size and the way they're built. That's amazing. Right on the top there. Oh, that's fantastic. So they wouldn't be doing this, I don't think, if the hyenas were here. And she's just looking at us, you know, she's listening quite carefully to us, she's watching us. The youngsters couldn't care less. But she's paying very close attention, and there's another sort of rustling in the bushes up, down to the left of your screen, and I think there are more elephants there. There she goes up to the top. She's just stuck her trunk right down into the hole, exactly into the hole where the hyenas were. This is fantastic. Now what she's eating is a tree called Scotia brachypatella, or the weeping boerbean. Now they grow a lot on termite mounds, and because of that they're often inaccessible to elephants. The trunks go really tall and the foliage is really high up. And so it's difficult for them. Now she doesn't care about us anymore, that's great. There's this little one here. Just see the trunk the tusk starting to erupt. You can just see a swelling there underneath the eye. That's it. And they're smelling. Everywhere where those little hyena cubs used to live, they're smelling. Obviously much more sensitive noses than ours. I suppose they can also smell a carcass. And Jose, you make a brilliant point. I mean, I didn't even think of this, but you have to give it to the termites. They've built this mound that can hold the mass of a fully grown elephant cow. It's pretty impressive. This one's not the most coordinated chap in the class, is he, Brian? Probably last to be picked for the sports team. I know what that's like. I mean, I'm being completely facetious. Their agility for the way they're built is absolutely amazing to me. And there you can see the one still on top. This one now standing very close to the hole, the main hole there, where the hyenas used to live. So interesting, you know, I haven't thought of this before, but those scotia trees grow on termite mounds, and you know, I always thought it was simply because of the fertility within the mound and the fact that maybe, you know, the termites drag the seeds underground there. Maybe it has to do with the fact that if they don't grow on termite mounds, they don't get big enough to survive because the elephants eat them. I think that's quite interesting. Now, Kathy in Tennessee, you want to know how long I think this thing took to build. I'm so bad at this, you know. You'll read various statistics about how a termite, a group of termites can build just like a soccer ball size in about, I mean, I've seen a soccer ball size every year. I don't believe that for 1 second. I've seen them build a soccer ball size in a day. So it really does depend on the size of the colony. I think that this mound is probably, let's say, 100 years old. Remember, it's not impervious to water, so water will, oh, here we go, there's another big one. Water will absolutely kind of weather it and wash it away, but then it can be recolonized, it can be revisited, and then it'll become active again. So it's very difficult to say how, with any certainty, how old a termite mound is. It's going to be quiet here. They're talking to each other quite carefully. You hear that, Brian? They're making him grumbling noise at each other. This cow doesn't look that happy with us. But we're going to just sit here and be very quiet. She's got rapier tusks, which we don't really want to get on the end of. Unfortunately, I cannot move everyone. So I'm just going to be quiet now. I'm going to not say anything. She is a substantial cow. Why she's moving in the direction other than where the other one's gone, I don't know, other than to check us out. She's not giving any indication of discomfort at this stage, so I think we're fine. I think she's just looking. It's interesting, you know, with the bulls will often come and sort of get curious, if you like, with cars, or be mischievous, and they might run up to cars and, you know, just kind of be cheeky almost. Cows won't do that. Cows will come up to the cars only if they are feeling like they need to assess what you want. So she's turned towards us now, and she's just having a look and a see. She's lactating quite heavily. I'm sure one of these youngsters is hers. Unless she's pregnant, she looks very fat, doesn't she, Brian? She also, her, you know, elephant, cows and bulls have an opening between the back legs in the same place. And hers looks quite kind of dilated, if you like. Maybe she's about to give birth. Oh, hello. Thanks for that. He's so sweet, he's only about he's 2 feet from us. Look at the hairs on the top of his head. And look how his ears perfectly fold onto the top of his skull. And how wrinkly he is at such a young age. It's completely normal, of course. I think it's just the 4 of them, just the 4 elephants. Oh, this is so special, everyone. This truly is a rare and one. Now that's normally. He's now kneeling on the floor. I can't see his head. This is spectacular. I might have to try and take a picture, everyone. Diane, you gave a question. I think I missed it though. I think you want to know if the car. Oh, the carcass smell. No, it obviously isn't disturbing them, Diane. There's a good smell, so at least a good question. We have this carcass on the back of the car. You want to know if it will affect the elephants. It clearly hasn't. That was just unbelievable. What a rare, special privilege. Young bull, I think. Well, the cow's just kind of wandered off. She seems to be completely comfortable now. I can speak at a normal volume. Brian? Enjoyable sighting?
Exceptionally.
Better than the talking dead Nyala. The zombie Nyala sighting.
The zombie sighting's a close second.
A close second.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about getting a camera out for that because it was just too wonderful to watch. Ah, gee whiz. You know, you have to work on a Sunday afternoon, and then this is what is provided for you, and you realize that it is no trial at all. And then you turn around to look where the other elephant's gone, and you see the zombie Nyala smiling at you, and you realize that all is right for the world, unless you're the Nyala. Now that elephant is getting very stuck into some, probably the last of the green grass growing underneath that fallen tree. Oh, that was just so wonderful. 2 feet from us, you could see so close that we couldn't actually get a full picture. I couldn't get out of the way enough. I think we'll just sit here a bit longer, everybody, and enjoy ourselves and see if the little one doesn't come down from the very top. And that area there must smell like hyena dreadfully, but it also, to a very sensitive nose, I suppose, must smell like pygmy kingfisher, because in the same hole that Corky's young cubs lived for many months, so a kingfisher pair, pygmy kingfishers, beautiful coloured birds, set up a nest just inside that hole. And that's quite common. If this elephant manages to climb over that trunk, I will be seriously impressed. I think just testing if... Look at this. Go on, go for it. Looks like he's going to try. Keep an eye out for his mother. He may get a whiff of the zombie. She doesn't seem to have. What I do need to do, everybody, is just take a picture of Brian's current situation, and then I'll show it to you. There's Brian and his zombie. And while we wait to see what that elephant does, there is Brian, and there is the Nyala. That is very macabre.
It is.
Yeah, no, he's not going to climb over there. Sniffing, though, where the cubs once were. It's interesting, hyena dens don't smell when there are hyenas at them. As soon as they leave, and this is why I do agree that the Albury's Road ones have been abandoned, as soon as they leave, they do start to smell. And that one at Albury's Road I pulled into the other day, and it stank quite horribly. So I don't think they're there anymore. But I might be entirely wrong. And remember, there are no very small cubs at the moment, so they can move. They can move quite often if they want to. Doesn't mean they will necessarily, but it does mean that they can. This is a wonderful little elephant bull. I'm just going to ask the final control to check something for me, if you wouldn't mind. I know that some elephants have their tusks, bulls, I think it's the bulls, and the cows at 2 years. Now I would have put this elephant at about 2, and so maybe it isn't a bull, maybe it's a young cow. Because I think this elephant's well older than 18 months. But it's almost impossible to tell what sex they are when they're this size. See, looking for little bits of greenery, of course, because his teeth won't be fully formed yet, his molars. So, okay, I'm sorry, they are fully formed, yes, fair enough. And so he will want green leaves to eat. He doesn't want to be chewing on bark. He won't be quite able to do that yet. And he'll still be suckling. This isn't wrinkly bottom, is it, Brian?
I don't know, I had that thought.
You think it might be?
Potentially.
He does have that sort of widely spaced wrinkles on his bottom, and he's right here that I've been here. I think I saw him on my second drive.
And he was displaying similar traits.
Exactly, that little rearing.
Mm.
They grow up so fast, Brian, don't they?
Mm.
Oh, you are very vicious. Yes. Yeah, he's definitely having a play. You know, these calves, they love to play because I think they get so bored just eating all day long. He's too close, I can't take a picture of him.
I would say definitely.
I would say definitely Rinky Bottom too. Everyone, he's so close. I can't take a picture of him. This is unbelievable. This is fantastic. Wow, what a privilege. What a privilege. There he goes. That was, what, Brian? Another 2 feet from us when he did his little rearing. I'm sure it must be him. Let's call it him. He's now he's caught a whiff, of course, of the zombie. He's turned around again. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's not vicious, of course, everybody. He's wonderful. We're very privileged to be spending time with him. The other cow, the large one, seems to have just wandered off. She's obviously very comfortable with us, to have left her wrinkly-bottomed, recalcitrant son in this area. Maybe it's because he's so naughty, she just leaves him to his own devices. That is the most spectacular experience. And I was so enthralled again, I didn't get one picture. Oh well. You know, everyone, people used to bring these cameras on safari with them when I was a guide. And so often they would actually miss what was going on because they were so intent on recording their safari that they actually failed to take heed of it. And I do find that there's a real balance to be had. Sometimes you just got to leave the camera down alone. Well, Brian, not in Brian's case, but in the rest of us. And you just have to observe and enjoy. And that was one of those moments there, because you could never capture that energy on a video or on a still. So confiding, so comfortable, and just kind of showing off, and it's just a wonderful experience. Right, I think we should move on. What do you say, Brian? Mm-hmm. And while we do that, let's head across to the inimitable Big Loud Sound and find out what he's doing. I wonder if those lions are coming towards us still. We're going to make our way slowly towards the fireside chat, I think, but we're going to do a quick loop past the Aubrey's Road Den.
Hey, what's the pretty ground work? Thank you, buddy.
So as you can see, we're still playing the patience game on the southern edge of our traverse area. So the last update we got that this female leopard was chasing an Inyala north. So we've moved a little bit further down and we're now waiting. I'm going to ask on the radio shortly. And I think we might do a little loop towards Leadwood Road and then come back through here while we wait. Oh, it sounds like she's still moving. And let me just ask quickly. Darby.
Mate?
Darby, do you think she's going to come out into Gary Main at any time? Copy, thanks very much, Sabi. So,
She's about
there we go.
15 meters away
Sit.
from Nyala.
There we go. She's stalking in Nyala. So he said, keep your radio on. He'll let me know. So I'm going to leave that radio on. And we're going to go see what else we can find. So she's not very far from here. Maybe just out of sight, just over the crest to the south of us here.
Stop into the just right there.
So it could be Karula, it could be Tundi. The last time I saw Karula was actually right here. So it might be either. I can't really have, I think they said it was Tundi, but there we go, maybe it is Tundi. You never know. She was seen not too far the other direction. So if her hunt is unsuccessful, she might keep on coming north, but you never know. That's the one thing about being live and out in the bush. You literally have no idea about what you could possibly see in the next few moments. This is the last spot I saw Karula and the cubs was right here. That was a few days ago though.
Thank you.
I haven't driven Leadwood Road in quite a while, so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. And the road is named such after this big dead leadwood. And dead leadwoods are often able to stay standing for over 100 years once they've died. And wood is, as you imagine, very hard. And they're named the leadwood. And it actually so dense it sinks in water. And also completely resistant to termites and burrower beetles. Very high lime content. So the ash is traditionally used as toothpaste. So hi Riley. Riley's in North Carolina, and Riley is wondering, what is the danger of bushfires or brush fires here, and have there ever been any large ones? There have been some really big ones in the Sabi Sands, although this year I would say the danger is almost zero. There is no grass to burn, so it would be very difficult for a fire to get going. So normally the dry season we are quite conscious, especially if there's been good rains. There's a lot of grass around, and obviously it becomes dry, and then there's a serious chance of brush fires or bush fires. But in a year where there's a drought, it would be very, very difficult for a fire to get going. So just a reminder that we will be doing a fireside chat, and as we've just said, sorry,
I'm not going to stay with them.
I'm trying to figure out what was going on there. It was in case the leopard moving towards us. I wasn't there. But what are we talking about? Oh, yes, bushfires. There have been some very big ones in this area. And speaking of fires, there we go. Now I've got my train of thought back. Fireside chat this evening. I know quite a few people were a bit upset last week because we changed the format and the platform. We are going to be trying it again. Hopefully there will be less problems or no problems as we go. Oh, what is that? I just saw movement through there. As I said, hopefully we've got no problems with the fireside chat this evening, and it will be on our Facebook page again. What is it? As a kudu. Yes, it's a female or male kudu. Male kudu. You can just make them out. I just saw the the legs through the bush there. And then that Tambuji thicket, a nice big male kudu. Off he goes. Okay, so I was saying, Fireside Chat will be on our Facebook page, so Safari Live. You don't have to be a member of Facebook to watch it. You can, I think, just go onto the Facebook thing and type in Safari Live, and you should be able to access our public page without being a member of Facebook. And I know it frustrates some, but we are trying something new, and hopefully it will be beneficial to all of us in the long run. So just bear with us while we figure out the little glitches. And the focus of Fireside Chat this evening will be a leopard update on all the leopards that we've been seeing and what's going on with them. Because I think this week we've seen Tandi, Karula, Nkanyini, and Tingana. That's right. I don't think we've seen any others. So it sounds like she's moving a little bit further south. That's not good. So, of course, a lot of our long-time viewers will know a very sad story of Sindile, who was Shadow's last cub, who bit a rabid dog and had to go into quarantine. He has been released, which is great news, and is now back in the Sabi Sands. He's to the southwest of us, and I've spotted something there for VM to show you with this big zoom we have on this camera. You see a small black dot in the acacia in the distance. Here we go. I'll continue on. Here we go. A pair of Battalier eagles. They found a spot to roost for the evening. It's getting quite dark already. And they found a spot. That's where they're going to spend the evening. We often find them roosting along Leadwood Road. It seems to be one of their favorite hangouts. Such beautiful birds.
I'm on the open area. Stand by here. Come a little bit north. North from the open area. Okay, come in.
Oh, guys. Obviously deciding that's not the best spot to spend the night. Okay, well. Let's leave them be. So, as we're chatting about Shadow's cub Sindile, now Monique in London would like to know what would happen if they happen to meet up. Would they know each other? I definitely think there would be some recognition. She would be deeply unhappy if he did arrive, because she still does have a cub, and he would pose a very big threat to that cub. He would kill it. Now, news on Shadow and the cub. They have been found. I've just been listening to the Eastern Game Drive radio in the property to the south west of us, and they're on a kill with Tingana. So Shadow, the cub, and Tingana are all present in that sighting. So that's good news, because for a while Tingana used to eat quite a lot of his cubs. So it looks like he hasn't eaten this one yet.
Yes, so you know when you come from Fish Rock to the west, there's this first turning glass that you come across. When you're heading towards negative. I'm just thinking of these
So I'm just listening to the radio there again. Sounds like they've
came straight this way.
lost her. Let's just go back. We're nearly back where we were waiting. Make sure she hasn't crossed onto our side. Sniggity. Now, as I said, we're not sure who it is. It's from what they say, it's Tandy. And we'll have a closer look if she comes across. And James is on his way to the fireside chat, and he is run smack bang into a Sunday evening traffic jam of elephants. Aren't we lucky when we have traffic jams out here in the bush? It's generally caused by either big herds of elephants or big herds of buffalo, or even sometimes a giraffe or a lion. Speaking of large herds of buffalo that sometimes cause traffic jams, Angie's wondering, do they ever stampede? Generally when they're being chased by lions. But speaking about the other creature that sometimes causes us traffic jams, I see one up ahead. Some more elephants. Hello, Ellies. It's a small breeding herd. I can only see 3 individuals. Doesn't mean there aren't more around. Fortunately, they are in the same area where the leopard is, which is just across our southern edge of traverse. Hello, little one. I suppose I wouldn't classify that as a baby anymore, probably a juvenile. Size maybe 2 to 3 years old. Looks like it's going to follow mom deeper into Chitwa. So I'm just listening to the radio, so they've lost that leopard, so it's going to just go very slowly down the road here. Make sure she hasn't popped out while everyone's been waiting for her somewhere else. Halfway between these 2 roads here, so I'm going to be staring intently into the bush here. So here the Nyala that I think she was stalking. I'm looking for a leopard. Sandy in Florida. Oh, we did just switch off here for a second. Sandy in Florida is wondering, do I think the leopard's identifier can distinguish between the individual vehicles? Well, I think maybe between certain vehicles, but I don't think that they know there are people on the vehicles. I think that would be pushing it a bit far. Hello, little madam. Do you have a little sore leg? You're not the one the leopard's been watching a little bit more closely than the others. Come on, Vim, spot a leopard. Now we've got decisions to make. We might stick with look around here a little bit because the Nyala look like they're going to cross into our side. And if she is sticking with the Nyala, then she might be just behind them. There we go. Now the one with the limp was the last of the line. Nice young male. And here comes the female Nyala with the limp. After this male. So hi Susan, who's in Long Island. Susan would like to know, are there Thompson's gazelle in South Africa? No, Susan, I think the closest Tommy to us is in Tanzania, a couple of 1,000 kilometers away. So it's not a bad limp, but you can definitely see she's a little bit sore in the back legs. Now will the Nyala bring the leopard we are searching for to us? That is the question. We're going to, I think, just go a little bit slow. Oh, there's another Nyala coming out.
I'll try, yeah.
So guys, just going to be on the radio for a second. Tax.
Yeah, Gumbo.
What you guys got there?
My dad said Toju Kaya Sama Southwest.
Copy, I'll check Chitticut line.
Okay, copy, yeah. Maybe you can check Chitticut line. Got him inside, that's right there. So just from
Wow. It seems like everything's happening in this little corner. So we're looking for the leopard. Now I've just heard there might be wild dogs coming straight towards us. So we're going to go down to the end of this block where we think that, well, we know the leopard has been lost. And then we're going to go back and check down towards the Mulwanini, see if the wild dogs go that way. Let me just let the guys in the east. Stations in the east, just a quick update. There was my Dutch heading south from Torchwood Kaya, southwest. Might pop out Kari Main, opposite Chitramati, that area. They said they were highly mobile southwest. They've had them about 6 minutes ago, so it could be any time now. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn around. Sounds like they found the leopard. She's gone back to snooze, and we're going to go see if we can get a glimpse of those dogs. Okay, so it sounds like Tax has got the wild dogs. They are heading towards us. So we're probably going to just get the slightest of glimpses as they dash across the road in front of us. But I have my favorite animal, and I haven't seen them in so long that we definitely have to take the chance. So we're going to stand by up on the high ground here so we can see down towards the Mulwanini. So they're coming from this area over here. And we all know how fast wild dogs can move. If you don't, if they are on the hunt, they can do about 60 kilometers an hour and keep that up for up to 5-6 kilometers. So they have incredible stamina. I think this is the best spot to wait for a little bit and listen. And it seems like Vim and I.
This thing is leggering after something straight west over there. It's very, very dense here. You can come up and look.
Look at that. So we've got the zoom, we've got the distance, we've got the high ground. So we're in the right spot.
Are there any other stations that were responding to this lock?
Right.
Come on, this track,
They're supposed to be popping up somewhere right around here. Now, I do apologize for all the noise on the game drive radio today, but unfortunately my cable went down, so final control is on handheld and my game drive comms are open. And now with our Cheetah Plains Traverse, we've got sometimes listening to 3 different radios at once. What you spotted there in the bush?
Nothing.
Nothing. He's just looking, and having the super zoom on this camera is like having another pair of binoculars right there. And we can see on a nice screen. So this is the ideal time of the day for wild dogs. VM has found a car to be hunting. They are crepuscular hunters. So what that means is they are most active at dusk and dawn. And we're going to just keep doing what we're doing. We're just going to keep doing these little loops around this area, and hopefully one of the predators we're searching for will make an appearance. Okay, we've got both radios on. So they've got one radio, we're listening to leopard this side. The Taxon over here listening to wild dogs. So we're literally in the middle. We have to get some luck. So I wonder what it's going to be. Is it going to be the leopard or is it going to be the wild dogs? What do you think, Vim? Neither. Or both. Vim wants the wild dogs chasing the leopard, I think, is what he wants. Sorry? Or leopard chasing wild dogs. I think that will be a little bit more unlikely. I actually have seen wild dogs kill a leopard before in Botswana. They ripped a female leopard limb from limb, but that was quite a big pack, about 26 animals fit in that pack. Waterbuck here look very calm and collected, so unlikely they've caught a whiff of the dogs yet.
Mornay, what's your lock? Gary Bay and approaching Chitwa All driveway. Wait.
I see taxi, I think, coming here.
Check Rombe.
So we're now literally right in the middle between these two potential sightings. And isn't this exciting to find what could be out here? Oh, there's cars coming from all directions now. Hello, hello. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello, are you taxi? More this way.
Yeah.
There's Ningi, Mala and Spiva there. Like, there's a fuzzy Ingwe now on this side here, somewhere close. Apparently she's Lanza and Yala, but in the really thick zebra woods. They've lost her. So I'm gonna check. I think my dash should be from the south too fast.
Yeah, and also it's getting
Dark. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right, from my team.
Hey, it's a new pack, eh?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so there we go. So taxi's telling me that those wild dogs were cruising. So he thinks they might have already passed through. So we're going to take a little gander at the leopard that was lost in the thickets there. And if we have no luck on this little trial run here, unfortunately I'm going to have to start running for fire side chat. Fingers crossed. A little leopard before to go with the lion in the beginning. I'd like that. So for those of you who might have logged in a little late and wondering what am I harping on about, fireside chat. So fireside chat is a way where we get together at the end of the week and we sit around the fire, all three guides together, and we chat about what's been happening and what's been seen. So the main theme this week will be leopards, because we have seen, I think, all if we include cruisers, cubs, we've seen 3, 4, 5, 6 different leopards this week. And hopefully we're going to add another one before we get back. But I think it is getting a little bit unlikely right now. But so I'm going to have to start moving back towards, but we did try right to the very end to get you guys a big cat or a wild dog. We did get the lion in the beginning of the safari, and it sounds like he crossed into Arathusa, but I'm sure Jamie and myself will be out searching tomorrow morning for what's going on. And the morning is really, really awesome. We've got those nice fresh set of tracks to work for. Try to work out where all the animals are gone and coming and doing. But as I was saying about fireside chat, we get together, chat about the happenings of the week. And I said this one's focusing on leopards, but it is not going to be on the traditional stream. So you will not find it where you find me right now. We are trying some new tech and some new platforms. So if you do want to join us for the fireside chat, please go on to Facebook and go to our Facebook page, which is Safari Live, and look for the live feed from Facebook, and you will find us there. Now, you do not have to be a signed member of Facebook to do this. As far as I'm aware, you can just go to the Facebook page, type in Safari Live in the search section, and it will take you to the public pages like ours, so you don't have to go through the whole sign-up rigmarole and all that nonsense. So you can watch it without being a signed-on member of Facebook. So I know it frustrated some people last week, but we are trying and are constantly trying to bring you new advancements that can only improve this already amazing show. Curtis seems to think the colours of the clouds are beating the colours of my scarf. Liam, what do you think?
I don't know, I dig the clouds.
Liam likes the clouds. I also like the clouds, but the only reason why my scarf wins is because it keeps me warm. And I don't like being cold.
Clouds make you cold.
And the clouds make me cold. So you notice I've just turned off those bright headlights of mine. There's some Impala next to the road and I don't want to blind them. There we go. And came back and gone again. There you go. Bouncy, bouncy. So we've got about 5 minutes into fireside chat. I'm starting to make my way back. I often get in trouble for being late. I tend to try and push the envelope when it comes to finding the animals. So feel for me. I think the directors are going to shout at me again today. They're so mean for such small little females. So, because we are experimenting with the new platforms and the fireside chat will happen, but we're going to go to the waterhole cam for a short little stint before coming live on Facebook Live. So, if you see the waterhole cam come up, don't worry, we are still doing fireside chat, and if we do have a few tech issues, please be patient. We are trying our best. I think I felt a raindrop. Did you feel a raindrop?
No.
I thought I felt a raindrop land on my cheek. Hopefully it stays away till after the fireside chat. Oh, and it's so nice to have Rusty purring again. It sounds like everyone's getting excited for fireside chat, so just us too. And of course, Commander Bond is back, or James, as those who knew. So, because he's James Bond, or he likes to think he's James Bond at least. But he will also be rolling out a song at the end of fireside chat. Unfortunately, you have been deprived of that while he was on leave, because you really don't want Jamie or I to sing. We would terrify the world. The fireside chat happens on the big open area near our camp called the Quarantine Clearings. So believe it or not, if this is your first fireside chat, we are actually sitting out away from any infrastructure out in the middle of the bush. And you got to be quite careful. You might notice I swing my torch around from time to time, because you never know what might come up to you in the bush. We've had leopard at fireside chat, we've had hyena, elephant, buffalo, but we've never had lion walk into fireside chat, or cheetah for that matter, or wild dog. But there's always this fireside chat or next week's fireside chat. Okay. And I'm sure I'm a little bit jealous of that. Jamie and James, who have been at the fireside chat setup, they have been probably just lazing about next to a nice big bonfire for the last half an hour or so. We've been freezing. I felt another drop there. Maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe it's bats. VM's decided bats are urinating on me. I'm not feeling rain. Because I don't actually see any big clouds above me. They're all quite far away down there. The sky's pretty broken up about me. Maybe there's one evil bat that's following me about. So remember, Fireside Chat on Facebook Live, on the Safari Live Facebook page. we're going to say toodles, but see you shortly. We're just going to jump to the dam camp for 5 minutes, and then hopefully you'll have us seated around a roaring African fire.